Anwin, thank you so much for joining us on your Sunday evening. We'll get to all of our top stories and more in just a moment, but first, let's bring in meteorologist John Birchfield. John, we had a snowy start to the day, but are we done with the snow or is there more to come?
Well, we're done with the snow for now, but the big story is going to be the cold. It is going to be a bitter start to your Monday morning. Temperatures are going to be dipping down to the teens in the Toledo metro with a few spots in the upper single digits west of Toledo. And that rapid drop in temperatures could cause a few areas of slick spots and black ice to develop. Temperatures have fallen back into the 20s. We're in the low 20s now in Hillsdale County, and you can expect a quick drop in temps tonight as those snow showers exit off to the east and low pressure moves towards New England. Starting off the day, temperatures are going to be in the lower teens to even the upper single digits. Afternoon highs in the 20s, and our next weather impact comes midweek with a clipper system. I'm going to preview the timing of some rain and snow coming up in just a bit.
All right, John, we'll see you then. A fatal two-vehicle crash happened yesterday around 4:30 at the intersection of M50 and M52 in Lenawee County. According to the Lenawee County Sheriff's Office, a 54-year-old woman from the Adrian area was traveling southbound along M52 through the intersection of M50 when a 20-year-old male and his passenger, a 23-year-old female from the Traverse City area, were traveling westbound. The 20-year-old ran the red light and hit the woman's vehicle. The 54-year-old was transported to the hospital where she later died from her injuries. The 20-year-old and his passenger were transported to the hospital with minor injuries. Drugs and alcohol do not appear to be a factor in this case. The crash remains under investigation by the Lenawee County Accident Investigation Team. Toledo has announced warming shelters will be open tonight and tomorrow night due to low overnight temperatures and other available services. Singles and couples can stay at St. Paul's Methodist Church on Madison Avenue, and families will be able to stay at Leading Families Home on Erie Street. Both will be open from 8 p.m. tonight to 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. TARDA will also be having warming buses outside the Hub and Franklin Park Mall from 5:30 to 10 p.m. today and tomorrow. Residents seeking long-term shelter or housing assistance are advised to call 211. We're following a developing story from this morning. Firefighters responded to a structure fire on Bowman Street at around 6:32 a.m. According to TFRD, the fire was at an abandoned home, burning rooms and the contents inside. An investigation into how the fire started is currently ongoing. There are no reported injuries. After nearly 20 years in business, Cake in a Cup off of Central Avenue and Rosa Parks Highway is not renewing its lease. The shop released a post on Facebook earlier today confirming that this holiday season will be their final one at the location. In the post, the shop states that due to the rising cost of ingredients and with larger corporate dessert concepts moving into the area, the foot traffic isn't what it once was. The future of Cake in a Cup is unknown. Liberty Center's varsity football team made high school history last night, winning the D5 state championship for the first time since 1997. And to celebrate, the village threw a parade in the team's honor. Dominique O'Neill was at the event and now joins us in studio. Dom, talk to me about the energy that you saw out there.
Well, Michael, the excitement was electric. This was exciting not only for the players and their parents, it was a win for the whole population of Liberty Center. A season to remember, capped with the championship for the first time in almost 3 decades. And the day after, fans lined the streets, waving signs and cheering on the team that brought it all home.
My brother's on the team, and so I got to go to the game last night, and it was pretty fun.
Special for us to be able to see this. Our group of seniors this year have only lost one regular season game since their 7th grade year. So this is really special for all those senior guys. A
short parade and ceremony was held in the Liberty Center High School gym where they honored each player.
Number 64, Colton Wyman.
For players like Max Walker, who's a senior, he says the win was for the whole community.
It means a lot just for us, my teammates, the community, our coaching staff, everyone in this town really just coming together. That's a win for them.
And for the parents, they say it's amazing to see the boys receive such an honor.
As a parent, I couldn't be prouder. My son's a senior, and to see them be there the last 3 years and just fall short, it's pretty amazing.
Many fans I talked to say the town's support has always made Liberty Center unique, and now it's finally paying off, helping solidify the hometown pride that these folks say make Liberty Center great.
Come to a Liberty Center football game, and you're going to know where you're at right away. The community's just amazing. They love watching it, and Friday nights we pretty well shut the town down, and we come out watching football.
The Tigers' victory marks a defining moment for Liberty Center, one that parents say the community will celebrate for years to come. And the team won 35-3 against Willersburg. Reporting in studio, Dominique O'Neill, WTOL 11.
All right, thank you, Dom. Well, today, amateur builders went to the Imagination Station to build Legos with local celebrities. It was all part of a photo contest sponsored by WTOL 11 and the Imagination Station, inviting people to build their best travel-themed Lego creation at home and submit a photo by December 4th. If selected, they can win the grand prize of 4 tickets to the Imagination Station and the Traveling Bricks exhibit, a $250 gift card to Bricks and Minifigs, and the opportunity for their creation to go on display.
So our Traveling Bricks exhibit is here through January 4th, so if anyone is interested in seeing over 120 creations made completely out of Lego bricks, now is the time. Come and celebrate with us here at Imagination Station.
And one of the celebrities included our very own meteorologist, John Birchfield. The photo contest winner will be announced tomorrow. Well, today was the City of Toledo's inaugural youth-led town hall. The first installment put a spotlight on local transportation. Attendees included members of the city's Youth Services Advisory Board and youth leaders from the Zeff Center and the Toledo-Lucas County Homelessness Board. The Youth Advisory Board chose TARTA as today's main topic, exploring how youth utilize the service and the need for accessible transportation across Lucas County. One board member hopes their work will inspire other young Toledoans to speak up in their communities.
Reach out to people, talk to people, and make sure you have your voice heard. And, I feel like if you don't talk, if you don't speak up, your problems won't be solved. People won't hear your concerns. People won't want to, better the community.
The city is planning for another youth-led town hall next spring. As Ohioans deck the halls and prepare for the holiday celebrations, the state fire marshal is reminding everyone that holiday cheer should never come at the cost of safety. In Ohio last year, 480 home fires were reported during the week of Christmas alone. For both fresh and artificial trees, LED lights are a safer option than traditional incandescent holiday lights, as they use 75 to 90% less electricity and produce less heat. Take a moment each year to check light strands for frayed or pinched wires. When decorating outdoors, only use lights for outdoor use. And make sure trees and decorations are located at least 3 feet away from all heat sources. Cooking-wise, stay in the kitchen when cooking on the stovetop. Keep flammable items away from burners and turn pot handles inward to prevent burns and spills. And of course, keep kids and pets at least 3 feet away from cooking areas, especially when playing. Coming up, 84 years after the day that changed America, families retrace the stories of survival and sacrifice, how they're keeping Pearl Harbor survivors' memories alive.
And our next storm system going to be rolling in Wednesday. It's going to bring us a mix of rain and some wet snowflakes. I'm going to break down the timing and potential impacts. That's coming up next. Well, first the snow and next the cold. It is going to be turning colder, and this evening we're going to be dropping back. In fact, overnight lows could even dip down to the single digits. Our next system is going to come in midweek. A clipper is going to produce a mix of rain and snow, and next up after that is going to be a very cold mid-December outlook. Temperatures have fallen back into the upper 20s across the Toledo metro, down to 27 in Bryan, 23 in Hillsdale. So those temperatures are falling as we speak, and it's going to be a very cold, bitter night. Doppler radar does show you the last of those snow showers exiting into eastern Ohio and Pennsylvania as we say goodbye to the snow and hello to some colder weather. Low pressure over New York is producing some snow showers, and that's the system that came through earlier today and brought us a light coating of accumulation. Perhaps you brought out the snow shovel, or maybe it wasn't quite enough for you to shovel. Either way, Toledo Express only got about 9/10 of an inch of snow. Some areas saw a little over an inch. Others saw a little bit less. So temperature-wise, we're going to be dropping back to the upper single digits west of Toledo tonight. The coldest of the temperatures are going to be happening around 3 to 4 a.m. with temperatures in the teens. By the 8 to 9 a.m. commute, I'm expecting those temperatures to generally be in the teens. So it is going to be cold, but not nearly as cold as that 2 below temperature that we felt last week with sub-zero readings. High temperatures are going to make it up to the mid-20s. There is going to be some sunshine, so that sun's going to be really nice to look at, but still a cold feeling day. So the next storm system comes in Wednesday. It's going to be a quick moving clipper that's going to bring us a mix of rain and wet snow. Temperatures are going to be close to 40 degrees, so I'm not really expecting impacts with this system. Monday is going to be a dry one. Ahead of that clipper, there could be a quick moving band of snow showers Tuesday morning. It's not going to last very long, but just this little narrow corridor of snow could dust the driveway and sidewalks early Tuesday. Tuesday afternoon going to be a breezy one, and the wind continues Wednesday as this clipper arrives. It's going to bring us some raindrops as well as some wet snowflakes mixing in. And behind this system, it is going to be turning colder, but I do expect most of the precip to be in the liquid variety. The reason? Well, temperatures are going to be well above freezing. Tuesday, we could see that round of snow flurries early in the day, although it is going to be turning breezy and milder into the afternoon. Wednesday's high is going to be at 39, a mix of rain and snow. So most of those roadways are just going to be wet. And then Thursday, some additional light flurries are going to be possible as the active wintry weather pattern continues. Now, overall, it's going to be a very frigid 10-day outlook. A cold weather pattern is expected to continue through the middle to even the latter half of the month. Now, there's a lot to point out here on the 10-day forecast. It's going to be breezy with that clipper. The best chance for rain and snow coming on Wednesday. Scattered flurries Thursday and Friday. Not really anything noteworthy as far as accumulation. And look at those temperatures. Single-digit lows, highs in the teens to 20s, with temperatures solidly 10 to 20 degrees below average for that entire forecast.
Well, today marks 84 years since the attack on Pearl Harbor. And this morning, family members of Pearl Harbor survivors gave remarks at the Intrepid Museum in New York. 2,400 service members and civilians lost their lives in the 2-hour air raid by Japanese forces on the U.S. naval base in Hawaii. The sneak attack shook America's confidence and pulled the country into World War II.
On the morning of December 7, 1941, while having breakfast with his fellow soldiers, he learned of the attack on Pearl Harbor and Hickam Field. The shock and trauma of witnessing the bombing firsthand stayed with him for the rest of his life.
The ceremony took place at 11 a.m. and included a wreath-laying ceremony in the Hudson River. Congress designated today, December 7th, as National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day in 1994. According to CNN, the Education Department will temporarily bring back about 250 federal workers placed on administrative leave last March. The department is bringing back the workers while the federal government fights efforts in the courts to cut jobs at the agency. An agency spokesperson said while that court fight plays out, it will use all of its employees to get the agency's work done. That includes several workers in the department's Office for Civil Rights. They received an email last Friday instructing them to return to work. The email said the workers can help with the department's caseload of civil rights complaints. The Trump administration has previously vowed to dismantle the Education Department. Tonight, growing pressure on the Pentagon. Lawmakers are demanding the full release of a video showing a second U.S. military strike on a suspected drug trafficking boat in the Caribbean, a strike that killed 2 survivors. Willie James Inman has the latest.
This weekend, lawmakers are pushing for the full release of a video showing a second strike on an alleged drug trafficking boat in the Caribbean.
I think it's really important that this video be made public.
This video shows the first strike on the boat on September 2nd, but a separate video showing a second strike that killed 2 survivors has not been released. Democratic Congressman Jim Himes is among the lawmakers who have seen the video.
I think it's really important that people see what it looks like when the full force of the United States military is turned on 2 guys who are clinging to a piece of wood and about to go under, just so that they have sort of a visceral feel for what it is that we're doing.
Lawmakers are demanding answers from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth about the second boat strike, which critics say could be a war crime. President Trump said last week he supports the video being released.
I don't know what they have, but whatever they have, we'd certainly release, no problem.
But when asked on Saturday if he would release the video, Secretary Hegseth was non-committal.
So, Mr. Secretary, you will be releasing that full video?
We are reviewing it right now.
Is that a yes or no?
That is, the most important thing to me are the ongoing operations in the Caribbean with our folks that use bespoke capabilities, techniques, procedures in the process. I'm way more interested in protecting that than anything else. So we're reviewing the process and we'll see.
Over the weekend, Secretary Hegseth doubled down on the White House's efforts to go after so-called narco-terrorists, saying that the U.S. military will find and sink alleged drug trafficking boats headed for the U.S. President Trump continued to stand by Secretary Hegseth last week despite backlash from lawmakers. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Washington.
Now we turn to war-torn Ukraine. The UN's nuclear watchdog says a protective shield at the Chernobyl nuclear site can no longer contain radiation. The massive steel structure was severely damaged after a drone strike in February. Ukraine blamed it on Russia, which the Kremlin denied. The IAEA says temporary repairs have been carried out, but it recommends a major renovation. Nearly 2 months since a shaky ceasefire took hold in the Gaza Strip, international aid agencies say they have been able to reach hundreds of thousands of Palestinians with basic food supplies. The World Food Program says it was able to reach 1.1 million people in November out of Gaza's 2.3 million residents with food parcels and wheat flour. Boxes containing rice, lentils, canned beans, tomatoes, and cooking oil are distributed to people in roughly 59 sites across Gaza.
These food boxes, they are meant to feed a family for 10 days. And we have already distributed over 1 million of them since the ceasefire began, and we plan to do much more.
According to the UN tracking dashboard, just over 90,000 metric tons of aid have entered Gaza. Israeli restrictions remain on what is allowed into Gaza, however, including medical supplies, limited shelter needs, and nearly no repair equipment. The opening of the crossing in northern Gaza allowed FWP and other aid agencies to directly reach Gaza with cargo for the first time in 2 months. Chase?
All right, when we return, Toledo football has named an interim head coach. We tell you who it is coming up next in sports. Sports brought to you by Jim White Honda. Welcome back. We've got some huge news in the last hour. The University of Toledo is naming offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Robert Weiner as the interim head coach of the program. Weiner has been with Toledo since 2020. Before that, he spent decades as a high school coach in Tampa, Florida. He takes over for Jason Candle, who officially accepted the UConn job Saturday. Also announced today, the football team found out they will be playing in the Boca Raton Bowl on Tuesday, December 23rd. The Rockets will take on Louisville. Weiner is set to hold a press conference for the bowl game on Monday. And in more college football news, the #1 Buckeyes took on the #2 Hoosiers in the Big Ten Championship last night. The moment a lot of Ohio State fans were talking about was with 3 minutes left in the game. Kicker Jaden Fielding missed a 27-yard field goal that would have tied the game. Indiana would go on to win their first Big Ten championship, and as of this morning are the #1 team in the country for the first time in program history. So with the Big Ten championship and all the other chaos that has ensued during Championship Saturday, today the College Football Playoff Committee released the bracket. Indiana is the top seed, followed by Ohio State at 2. They'll both get first-round byes. The Buckeyes will play the winner of the Miami and Texas A&M game. We'll see the Scarlet and Gray back in action at Ohio Stadium on New Year's Eve. Also happening New Year's Eve, Michigan will play in its bowl game. The Wolverines will face Texas in the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida. That game will kick off at 3 o'clock on ABC. And finally, a few score updates for you. The Browns were in action this afternoon, taking on the Titans. They lost 31-29. The Bowling Green men's basketball team was playing Aquinas College, and the Falcons win big 131-50. Bowling Green women were also in action. They played Defiance and won 118-35. But that's all for sports. I'll be right back.
Coming up, someone could be raking in millions Monday night. The Powerball jackpot continues to climb after no one had all the numbers. The mind-boggling number that you could win, that's coming up. Welcome back in. Well, get your wallets ready. The Powerball prize is still unclaimed. No one had the numbers on Saturday night's big drawing, now setting the jackpot for Monday night at $875 million. That's a cash value of $403 million. Saturday night's drawing did, however, result in one $2 million winner in New Jersey, so congrats to whoever won it.
feel like in some ways those smaller jackpots are actually a blessing in disguise because, you know, you don't have to deal with the publicity and all the people calling you up asking for a share.
Are the tax rates the same as if you get like a big 450 million? So if you get 2 million, does it get reduced down to like 100,000? Like how much do you get if you just take that little tiny?
We'll have to ask a tax pro. I don't have that on hand.
I'm just curious. Yeah.
Can't say that I'm an expert either.
Well, you know what I'm curious about, John? You got to do that Lego event earlier. You see anything cool?
Yeah, it was a really good activity for a snowy day, and the Traveling Bricks exhibition is going to be at the Imagination Station through January 4th. So you can see a cloud there with a lightning bolt as well. Almost looks like that cloud has eyes, which I know is totally scientifically accurate. There's a windmill there, a garden, a couple storm shelters as well. Definitely some indoor activities. Maybe keep the kids busy as Christmas break approaches.
Absolutely. Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again later tonight.